last call, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap P.O.D. Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Force Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? What up? Welcome in here to Last Call. I'm buzzing away here as we get things popping off. I'm excited to be here with you guys today. TGIFF. We're here. The weekend's in front of us. We got ourselves a lot of fun on deck this weekend. Going to be a big horse stream show tomorrow. The second leg of the Triple Crown. Razor Sharp, Jimmy the Bag, cast and crew will be assembled and going to have a lot of fun. But we got some action to get into tonight. We've got ourselves a full slate, plays across all four sports. And you know Friday means we bring in MMA Jeff, going to break down his three favorite plays for the UFC card tomorrow. 4 p.m. Eastern start there, so it is a little bit of an earlier start tomorrow as well. Make the note, but we got a lot of work to do tonight. As per the usual situation here, right? We had a small card last night. Kind of got us. Not our best day. We gave a little bit back, but we're going to open up and fire today. I love the Major League Baseball slate. Man, I think there's just a lot of great plus money to be had this time of year, specifically in Major League Baseball. We're going to attack it tonight. A couple of spots that we've had fortune and success with already. I'm excited. We got a couple of these little bounce back opportunity angles that I've shared before. The line parameter functions out there. We're not going to use the cash cow because shout out to our guy, Troy Torrance, but they have been straight cashers when we get these opportunities out there tonight. 48-5 when we got road teams off a loss line between minus 120 and plus 160. Two bangers there tonight. And just a lot of fun to get into. So we'll start the show off. We'll talk about the NHL. We got two looks in the NHL tonight. You know, the ref report has been good to us. And I found another gem tonight in this Florida-Boston game. We'll talk Dallas, Colorado. We got a full spread here in Major League Baseball. Action in Tampa, Toronto, Minnesota, Cleveland, San Diego, Atlanta, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, St. Louis, Colorado, San Francisco, and Detroit in Arizona. And baseball has been my cash cow. So I'm excited to share those plays with you guys tonight. I think there's just, oh man, when the moon, the stars, and the planets all line up, one of two things happens. Either we get rich or we get effed. And hopefully tonight's the get rich component. The NBA, we've got one lone game in the NBA. The Pacers taking on the Knickerbockers and them short pants. We'll talk about that game. Two looks in there, maybe get to a third. And then the WNBA. Sadly, we didn't get there yesterday, but that doesn't matter. We've got great action tonight. The Mystics and the Connecticut Sun. Then we're going to go into the Storm and the Lynx. And I'll say I am not a WNBA capper, but I'm trying. I'm doing the research. I'm looking deep into the opportunities here, and some of them just look better than others. Then we've got MMA Jeff rolling in here, going to give us his three favorite looks for the UFC. So you come to the right place if you're trying to get some cash tonight. You guys know this week's been glorious live streaming across YouTube. We've been finding all that extra cash that we miss on shows like Last Call, but you already know, smash that thumbs up button. We had a great giveaway last night. I got to say, who was it that won? Let me find it and reach out to me on X because I will either give you my Venmo or you can share yours with me. It was Chris B. I didn't put Chris B's last name out there on Twitter last night because I didn't want him to I didn't want to dox him or get him exposed out there. But nonetheless, Chris B, reach out to me. Great call last night. Evander Kane, first goal scorer in that Colorado spot. You won yourself $25. We're going to do more of that stuff, you guys. Lots of fun with the giveaways. Unfortunately, the rollover did not get there. And I'll tell you, I was torn between the two. I was torn between the Rangers and the Philadelphia Phillies. And nope, I chose the wrong side. We'll start it again, though. You know, that's something I want to do more of because I do believe we can get there. This crew sharp and assembled and ready to roll on the daily. And I think we have an opportunity to get that rollover challenge completed. Big show tonight. Excited about the opportunities. Guys know the deal here. Maybe you're just getting out of work, trying to figure out the dinner plan, looking to figure out your cocktail selection because it is Friday. Let us help you figure out where to put your cash tonight. Hit the thumbs up button, grab a pen and paper. Lots of action to write down, not just from the panel, but of course the chat. Oh, so sharp. And last but not least, you guys, put your plays in the chat. Let's talk about what you guys are on. You guys have been firing lately, and it's important that we recognize what you guys have for your hard work as well. We're building this community one play at a time, one member at a time, one day at a time, and we need everybody in, all in on this show here tonight. It's a big weekend ahead, so let's get after it. Let's see what's doing up here in the chat. Of course, Joe T, the first guy in there, giving us his lay down there. He says, let's get that cash. The Brewers and Astros over 7.5 in MLB is his best bet. And, of course, he likes them first period overs in the NHL. Subhuman Gaucho said, try to get in here 15 minutes early and still couldn't beat Joe T to the punch. Early bird gets the worm. Shout out to you, Gaucho. Appreciate you, my guy. The subhuman hockey play of the day is the Panthers first to 5 shots on goal, minus 140. Says, and apologies to Joe T. But we at Casa de Gaucho will be fading the first period over in the Panthers Bruins. Half unit each on under half a goal in the first 10 minutes, or I guess no goal in the first 10 minutes, and under 1.5 goals in the first period. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate you, subhuman Gaucho. Kenny Wood in the house. There's my guy, Jay Peasy, P-Dog up in here, says, what up? Let's go. Rodney M's got the Pacers first quarter. Love that look, Rodney M. I'm dabbling in first quarter action tonight, and you and I are aligned, my guy. So we'll see how that works out. Joe T says, no worries. I'm still taking it at plus money, and appreciate you guys. Dana Delp says, sup, guys? Good day so far, Pittsburgh W. Yeah, I had to bounce out there on our guy Jimmy the Bag and crew earlier today, so I wasn't able to share some of these spots, but that Pittsburgh team coming around, starting to come around. Shout out to you, Dana Delp. Justin McKelvey says, Stacks play of the day is Ohtani with the ribby for Ohtani. And them LA Dodgers at plus 123. EQ in the house. What up, EQ? It's good to see you back, my guy. Justin Lauer says, Knicks money line, let's go. Dana Delp likes the Phillies run line and the under at plus 296. I love seeing the combo. You know I'm a fan of the combo. We got a couple of combos tonight, side and totals in Major League Baseball. Rob McMahon says, what's good, Mike Money? Let's get that cash, vodka style. You know it, my guy. Let's go. Mike Wilkerson's got the Halliburton first quarter points over 5.5. You know, I was just doing some research before the show on the Halliburton stats there. Man, he definitely comes to play at home versus being on the road. Almost double production in rebounds and assists when it comes to being at home versus being on the road, with one less game in the sample as well. So impressive Halliburton stuff tonight. I couldn't quite pull he's not quite double-double or triple-double numbers, but I did look here. It's a big game for them Knicks. Justin McKelvey says, I'm starting my rollover challenge tomorrow. We'll post my pick with Stacks daily. I love it. Love it, man. Let's have some fun. That's what this should be about. We want to make cash. Obviously, we need to get that green, but it's all about having a good time while we're doing it. And those types of things are fun. So I'm all for it. We'll start probably Monday. Probably Monday will be the start. We'll call it the Memorial Day rollover, something to that effect. We'll get it back, though. We'll get back there. It was just disappointing. Then I thought when they tied it up, I was like, all right, maybe. Then they went ahead. And I thought, well, maybe the minus one's in play, or at least a push. And then it sadly in the 11th inning did not get there. So Todd Clinton says, taking the Atlanta Braves team total over 4.5. What's up, Todd Clinton? Kelsey's in the house, says, let's go Stars, Red Sox, and Yankees. And maybe the Knicks for Kelsey out there. Perky Bumps, see your bumps, says, hit that like button. What's up, Moolah? Let's all collab and doink these bookies square in the sack. Huge weekend. In fact, it is. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of action in play. Fletcher Berry says, okay, Mikey, all about that cash. You guys already know the deal here. Smash that thumbs up button for us. Show the support. You guys did a great job yesterday. Let's keep it going. The more we get, the more opportunities we'll have to give away some cash. We'll find different spots out there. You guys seem to like the first goal scorer. Almost 40 of you got in on that first goal scorer bet last night. So, again, shout out to our guy getting that victory out there. Coin says, what up, Mike in chat? Let's have a Friday. Miami is in that. You know it, Coin. That 1-13 first game of a series spot. Fanatical Jim's in the house, guys. Let's jump in, recap. Let's see. It was, a net. We lost 3 units yesterday. I mean, we're up 17 for the week, so it's okay, but never want to end up in the negative out there. The Philly first 5 team total over 2.5. man, they go out there, they bust up runs. They can't get it done. Just a disappointing spot. But Boston under 8 did not cash for us. We double dipped Pittsburgh with the first 5 in the money line. That did cash. The first 5 under 4 did not cash in Pittsburgh, though. So we went 2-1 in that spot. That was a little profit. The Houston Rangers -1.5. Remember the bounce back spot. When you got the team as a favorite, pitcher off a shit start, they're opposing coming off a win with their pitcher, big bounce back opportunity. Not as complicated as it sounds, right? Pitcher looking to bounce back off a bad start is a big favorite, essentially, is what you need to know in that spot there. The Rangers cashed for us. Ref report strikes again, +130. Hopefully you caught some of them +14, +1,500 live spots out there. I was a stubborn SOB. And then the New York Rangers under 1.5 cash for us as well. Then it was just an L City out there, man. Talk about messing with the G's and catching the L's. Edmonton Oilers, they got me real good and real good. It was a step up spot there for the Oilers. Then they tied it, and I was hopeful. And fortunately, I didn't live bet it again after they tied it. But goddamn, took that L. 3-2 loss. The Fever got busted up and shot out the Caitlin Clark watch. Under 2 in a row for her point totals. 2 in a row to the under for her point totals. We're watching it. I'm watching it. That's what the hell. Why not? Let's see what's going on with this girl and her now 20.5 point total out there. And then Jones didn't get the over 1.5 threes. That game was a rout. That was unfortunate because she was 2 points shy of her point total. Or actually, I think it was 1 point shy of her point total, but they routed him. So it was game over. Gordon gets 4 assists. We do not cash the over 4.5. Michael Porter Jr. continues to be on the back of the milk carton. And the Nuggets got busted up. Shout out to Joe T and them T-Wolves. So we got to get back. We got work to do tonight. We're going to start with the NHL. And I already told you guys the deal here. I've scrubbed the Scouting the Ref report there. It's a great site to follow if you guys are looking for that info. Scout the Ref. And, not every day do you get some illumination out there when it comes down to it. Yeah, I see your Timberwolves, Joe T. Yeah, I see you. Congrats, my guy. That was a big win for you. And it was a big loss for me. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. So I'm talking about scouting the refs here. Florida Panthers game, Florida, Boston. And this series is starting to get there. We saw that there was some victories here, that Rangers closing out that series once they got through the game 5 hump. Now what we've got going on is Bobrovsky and Swayman again. This has just been this matchup. Last look, though, unconfirmed for Swayman. I can't imagine why they wouldn't continue to roll with this guy. The last game that these two teams played, I mean, it was definitely more competitive than those previous blowouts there with the 6-1 and the 5-1 spots out there. But, we did see that, Boston was able to go into Florida and claim that victory. 2-1. They stepped it up. Kind of look at the evolution of the series. The Florida Panthers started off with rest, right? They had the rest advantage. That turned out to be rust, and they got busted up 5-1. Then they came back and scored on a vengeance, 6-1. Then they go back home. They win 6-2. Now we're starting to see things tighten up as the series goes down the deeper trenches there, the deep end of the pool. 3-2, they beat the Boston Bruins. Then they lose 2-1 that next game. This is what we see as these playoff series go deep, and these unders are very much in play. I think, Joe T with the first period over, I couldn't quite get there. I'm not mad at it. I think it's a good look. But I think this game over the stretch plays tight. I wouldn't be mad to see this, or I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing just 1-0. And with Boston being the team that's up here, we talk about the ref report. We talk about the importance of the assistant ref there, the guy that's tagging all the penalties, not the guy that's going in the box looking for the assistant review. He's the guy calling all the penalties. It's Eric Farlott tonight there, the assistant ref. And let's talk about what he doesn't like. He doesn't like the Florida Panthers. He's 1-5 reffing games with the Florida. They're 1-5 in games this year. 1-2-1 last season as well. Then we look a little bit deeper, and what do we see on the other side of things? Well, they do like Boston. 5-0-1 last season, 3-2-1 this year. Headlines, 3-1 for Boston last year versus 1-3 for Florida. 3-1 this year versus 1-0-2 for Florida. Why is that so important, especially for the guy that's calling the penalties? Because the ref's got the whistles in the pocket. This is a great series. This is a showdown opportunity. Coin says Florida's 2-0 off an L in these playoffs. But this is a Bruin spot for me tonight. Boston is going to smash. Where's my guy, Nasty Nate, in the chat there? I think this is a great Bruins spot. You're getting them at plus 125. Backs, clearly against the wall, but that home ice advantage on Friday night. TD Garden should be romping out there, and I think this is a good spot for them to get this cash. I'm so close to pulling the trigger on the under 5.5. Some trends via the NHL in this spot. When we're beyond game 4, the under shines through. I believe it was 8-3 this series this postseason to the under after game 4, which is exactly what you would expect in terms of the script. Things get tight. Things get, a little less, the early part of the playoffs there, early part of the series, you got these teams kind of coming back with the rest, trying to scrape the rust off. They get a little sloppy with the sticks. It takes a little while to get back into the condition of game shape. And then as we get through the playoffs and we get deeper, they stop taking those stupid penalties and they start dialing in, playing some defensive hockey. We've got 2 of the best goaltenders to do it with Swayman and Bobrovsky. I do like Boston. I do think this series goes 7. Florida probably gets it done back at home, but I'm taking the Boston Bruins here. TNT, 7 p.m. spot to open the card. Boston Bruins, plus 125 was the number earlier. And get it while it's hot because we're down to 124s, 122s, 120s out there now as well for this Boston Bruins spot tonight. Give me the Bruins. Give me some plus money. Subhuman says, I like the under as well, Mike, but I like the first period under more. I kind of think that too. Like if you look at that Rangers game yesterday, right? That first period under cashed. And then the game opened up as things got closer to that elimination spot, right? As they get into that elimination zone, Carolina's got no choice but to open it up. And then things just became quicksand for them last night. They couldn't get out of their own way. 4-goal third period in a closeout game. You saw that thing just shoot and skyrocket over the total. But for this game here, we're going to go with the Bruins plus 120. Let's roll on to game number 2. I definitely found this one to be a little more challenging than not. Bad news. The line is continuing to drop as well if you're looking at the Colorado Avalanche. And that's where I'm looking tonight with this game here. I tell you, we talked about this before. We talked about the turning point for this team, and obviously it was a big deal to see their guy Nichushkin there having some off-ice issues again. Team got that news 2 hours before they went on ice, and it devastated them. They had to kind of figure out what they were going to do. Lots of heads down in the locker room. But what did they do? We talked about this that last game. At Dallas, on top of things, they weren't going to let that define their season. They went out there and they took them down 5-3. Guys are stepping up. You see Cale Makar. We talked about this guy from a offensive defenseman perspective. We wanted to fade Wyatt Johnston because there was just too much Wyatt Johnston love. Shout out to this 21-year-old guy. He's going to be a great player in the NHL. But when you start hearing everybody's betting this guy's anytime goal scorer, it's time to fade away. Not going back on it here. I still think Colorado advances through this series. Can advance if they lose tonight. Short, sweet, and to the point. I don't like this last-minute movement here where it's continuing to drop. But we started at minus 120. We're down to minus 110. I'm going to lock it in. I'm not going to wait for or waffle on this spot here for me tonight. All things considered, go. I mean, we've got a situation with this Colorado team that's going back to altitude. Tired leg factor should be in effect for this Dallas Stars team. Don't forget, they had that 7-game series. And it was not just a 7-game series, but they dropped their first 2 games at home. Pressure was high. Intensity was high. It's a deep team with 4 lineups. We know what the coach does in game 7s out there with that undefeated record. But this ain't game 7. This is game 6. And we got this home Colorado Avalanche team still in the hunt, ready to go, not being defined by the Nichushkin factor. Minus 110 for me on this Colorado Avalanche spot is going to be an official play for me in the NHL. Coin says Dallas is 3-1 off an L in these playoffs. Yeah, and fuck them too, Coin. We're going in. I'm going in here tonight. I do like this. Wouldn't feel great about taking that L, but there we go. Colorado minus 1. It's minus 110 now. So all intent and purpose here as we look at these games on Friday night with the home ice advantage tonight. I like it. I think this is probably an under game as well. Here's why I think these games are under, because I think this series get extended. If this was I know it's certainly a difficult spot for these guys to be in here with the series in elimination mode as well. But because they're extending, I believe this one, I think of the 2 could have the chance for the first period over between the 2. And yeah, I'm not upset with anybody going to the Wyatt Johnston goal scorers here, but look a little deeper down the trough. Obviously, Stankoven has been fantastic. He's been out there, young guy making a name for himself. Olofsson Heiskanen is another one. I love the defensive guys. This time of the season, it's so important to have offensive, defensive players out there. Just like that extra, it's like that fourth wide receiver, or I'm sorry, the fourth. I got football on the mind here. It's like that. It's that fourth offensive player that kind of runs it like a quarterback, a field general out there. The puck kind of cycles around to this guy. They throw a screen in front, and then bang, the puck goes in. Maybe it's a tip, it's a ricochet. Maybe it's just a blind bad look for the goaltender. Don't be afraid to look at these defensemen to make some impact when it comes to your first goal scoring props out there. But for me, we're going to go back to Colorado. Good luck to anybody that's on Dallas in this spot. I'm still, if I got to eat the shit because of this Dallas spot, then so be it. But look at this line. For them being as good as they are on paper and the way they should go out there and win the Stanley Cup, somehow they're up 3-2 in the series, and they opened up as an even money spot. Seems like they want that Dallas Stars money. They're begging for it, and now they're getting a lot of it. And the line is now dropping on the Colorado Avalanche side. They want you to see Dallas Stars as the play to take in this game here, and I'm not falling for it. We're not fucking going. We're not going in. Let's move on to Major League Baseball, you guys. Going to keep a brisk pace today. We got a lot of plays to jump into here for MLB. I'll tell you, I was close to pulling the trigger on the Yankees -1.5. You guys know the deal with me. First game of the series trends are a real thing. I look at those numbers. They make a lot of sense to me. We also got a spot here with Cortez at home. Nasty Nestor pitches almost twice the numbers at home versus being on the road. He's got almost a 7 ERA on the road. That thing mows down to a 3 when he's at home. Definitely like the home field or home edge that this guy has when he comes to the bump. We also have teams that are longer than a +155, meaning this White Sox team. And you think you're catching a value because, hey, they're +235 and they've won a few games. Not so fast. Teams in this spot longer than the +155 are 0-19 straight up if their starter won the previous meeting or they lost by a run. So a tight game or they won outright. We see that the White Sox are out there they're starting to get healthy. Some of their guys are starting to come back. I don't want to get involved with Clevenger. I just couldn't pull the trigger officially on that game one way or the other. But a spot that I like here, not just like, but I love the spot tonight. We're looking at this AL East showdown. We got ourselves a little bit of a unique opportunity here because one of the highest rated trends that I've got kind of across the dashboard has to do with the underdog, who's a better road team with a team coming back home. So the Blue Jays are coming back home. This line opened up at -178. We've got reverse line movement. The Blue Jays dropped to -162, 78% of the bets and 70% of the cash on the Toronto Blue Jays. And the line has dropped 16 cents. This line's moved also down from +150 to +140 on the money line for the Rays. Then we see a total that's frozen. 85% of the bets, 88% of the cash on the over 8.5. And it's not moved. The question is, do you trust Alexander or Bassett more in this spot here? And I'm not a Chris Bassett guy. You know, I've faded him as consistently as I can. In fact, he's got a 3-5 record because he's plenty of starts, not a lot of run support. He's got a 5.06 ERA. And I said it before, the underdog that's a better road team versus a team coming back home is 165 and 121. 7-3 over their last 10 games in those spots here. I expect this to be a battle. This series will probably be a split overall, but way, way too much value here with this Tampa Bay Rays team at +140. You know, look at what they just did. They just competed against that Boston team. They went 3-1, not from absence of scoring. And we know Boston's been oh so dangerous in those first 5. So we'll talk about that shortly when we get to the Boston game. But a 5-3 win that first game of the series in Boston, then a 5-4 loss. Things kind of normalized, if you will. Then they came back and they fired 4-3 and 7-5. The bats have heated up. That's the misjudge in calculation with this line right now, is they're still judging and grading this Tampa Bay Rays team like it's the Tampa Bay Rays of 2 and 3 weeks ago. Not for us. We're not falling in it. We're going on that little run of the 7-3 over their last 10, the better road team versus a team coming back home. First game. I don't care about traveling back to Canada. Both teams had to move up there to Toronto. Give me Tampa Bay. Give me +140. Let's go. Let's see what you guys are on there. Marco Carrasco in the house says, what up, fams? Take the Blue Jays and Bassett over 5.5 strikeouts at +208. Yikes. Yikes. Silent Rops is over under lean on this one for the parlay question mark. Are you asking about this Tampa game? I don't know. I don't know. You want me just to, I'd just strictly be guessing. I'd strictly be guessing. I would say this is an under spot because Toronto's bats can't get fast enough across the plate as they come back home. I would think it's probably like 5-2, 4-2 type of game for Tampa Bay if I had to kind of put a score on it. I really didn't get involved with the total in that one. And the fact that you see the line's frozen, I would go to the under there as well. I mean, look for a live betting spot too. Like, here's the best opportunity that we can see. We see it consistently. You guys, try to give you some info for you guys as you go back and you're watching some of these games on your own throughout the course of the evening. Spots that we look to live bet. And, I was talking with MMA Jeff about this earlier with the NHL. When we like some of these games to be unders, just because there was a quick explosion doesn't mean we move back off the under. We talked about this the other day with Jose Bouquet as well. With that Detroit game that he was on the under and they had 2 or 3 runs right off the gate. And he got the under, I think it was like 8. It moved up to like 10.5. And I told him, I was like, dude, stay with the 8. Take that plus money now that you capped it at an 8. I know it's kind of the gamble that we do with this thing here, but it's an opportunity to get that plus money from the spot you originally capped. And these other guys haven't even gone yet. Why wouldn't you take a shot at it? So all of that diatribe to me means in this game, if I was looking at this thing and you catch a nice little, Bassett shits the bed early and it's like 2-1 or 3-1 in the second inning, I'd still look for that live total. Remember, the strike number's 8.5 and it's been frozen. If anything, it's reverse line there, starting to shade to the under. So keep your eyes on that one for a live betting spot, you guys. Let's move onward and upward. Smash that thumbs up button. Help me get this thing going, you guys here. I see 150 plus in here. Peeping the show, you guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's keep growing this thing out there. You guys did a terrific job yesterday. I appreciate it. Personally, I get excited when I see that, the likes are getting up there. It means you guys are watching, at least watching enough to hit the thumbs up button. And it's all about that with me. So I appreciate you guys. Let's talk about this trend that's been cashing like crazy. I told you we're not taking Troy's cash cow, but this cash dog, I don't know what we're going to call it. We got to come up with a name for this one. I don't know. Doggy. I don't know. The dog's going to shit all over the lawn of the bookies. What's going to happen in this one? I got to figure out how to get that thing cleaned up. We got the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians, 7:10 Eastern. Start out there with this game. We got a -120 for the Guardians. We got 74% of the bets, but only 56% of the cash on the Guardians. It has moved. It's moved from -120 to -125. So you guys, if you're new here, what we do here is we try to look at the percentage of the bets, the percentage of the cash, and then how the books respond in that situation. So that's the key that a lot of people miss. Like, hopefully we've gotten past the argument of where's the numbers come from. We're starting to see everybody come over from the dark side and start embracing some of this cash flow and line movement stuff, because it's a great toolkit, or it's a great tool to have in the kit, I should say. We look at the bets. That's going to be typically everything. It's going to be your smaller bettors, your parlay bettors, your prop bettors, your teaser bettors. Everything kind of rolls into the soup for percentage of bets. Then we look at the percentage of cash. Typically going to be your bigger bettors, the guys that are coming in saying, I don't care about parlays, just put 10 dimes on this particular side. And then we want to see, okay, based on that movement, what's the market saying behind it, right? It's no different than a stock. You see a stock that gets a heavy buy, like everybody buying this AMC shit, and the thing starts getting jacked up. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see it go down. If you see everybody's moving in on Apple stock and the line starts dropping, is that a buy sign? I mean, dollar cost averaging, we can get into that in a different day. But nonetheless, here we're looking at this Twins game, and I do see that there is considerable movement on the cash, bigger money coming in on this Twins side of things here. It's Woods Richardson with a 3.24 ERA. He's 1-0 on the season. And then we've got Tristan McKenzie with them Guardians at 3.54 ERA and a 2-3 record on his season out there. Really no win to talk about in Progressive Field. There is about a 28% chance of rain. So we need to be cognizant that there could be some rain in the future. And that would just really stymie everything I want to get involved with here if that is the case. But here's the numbers that we got, you guys. It's the road team off a loss, lined between -120 and +160. It's the magic spot for us out there. It's the dog taking a shit in the bookie's lawn play of the spot here at 48-5 straight up in those spots. And they're cracking them out there. They're going on a 3 run average per game stomping out there. 43-10 on the run line as well. Because some of those spots where they're -105, they're -1.5 out there. So Definitely want to be concerned when you're the road team off a loss. You're on a line between minus 120 and plus 160. They're out there kicking ass and taking names 48-5. In fact, the last loss was like a year ago. So let's keep it rolling. Let's move on. That's going to be it for me in that game. I'm just taking Minnesota. And I want the full game because of that potential weather parameter for me. If it does rain, I don't want to have this first 5 shit happen here, where the pitching rotation changes, and I'm staying away from it. Just give me the full game. There we go. Coin says the dog playing possum play of the day. We gotta refine it, but I appreciate the effort, Coin. We'll get there together. It'll be our community play, and we won't tell anybody. How about that? Alfred 44 says Twins are dead to me after last week. I mean, look, man, they were due for a little regression. That Yankees spot was kind of strange for what happened with this Twins team, but man, they went on like an 18 of 20 game winning streak out there. And Pete Dog says the Twins are kicking 0 asses right now. Well, I think they can bust up them Cleveland Guardians ass. How about that? Tristan McKenzie's definitely vulnerable here. And as I was looking kind of across the board when it comes down to some of these numbers for these guys, we got an extra second to dig in here. I'll share it with you guys. When we get in and we start, where is he? Where is it? Nobody's seen Simeon Woods Richardson here, the young up-and-coming buck out there. Striking out, though. He's got an average, 5 Ks or so around a game. He's doing fine. On the other side, Tristan McKenzie, he's been Christmas treed, lit up by just about everybody but the leadoff guy, Edouard Julien. Outside of that, everybody else. Larnach, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Ryan Jeffers, 14 at-bats, 3 hits, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Max Kepler, 19 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Carlos Correa, 14 at-bats, 5 hits, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. Carlos Santana has 10 at-bats with no success, but then there's Alex Kirilloff in the 7-hole, 6 at-bats, 3 hits, and 500 against him. Jose Miranda, 5 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 RBI for a 400. And then there's Willie Castro in the bottom of the order, 14 at-bats, a hit, a home run, and an RBI against him as well. Give me these Minnesota Twins to beat up on Tristan McKenzie and company out there. Let's just make sure we got the best number available. I did say it moved a little bit. Now we can get a plus 108. We can get a plus 108. Every cent counts when we take this thing into account there. Let's go Minnesota Twins, and let's roll on. Onward and upward. Try to make a little bit of a massacre out of this game here. 7:20 Eastern. I'm looking at the San Diego Padres Atlanta Braves game. You guys already know. You've already been tracking. I know I heard a couple of you guys ask me on Jimmy's show earlier today. You already know what we do when Atlanta's coming off an under. We go to the under. In fact, right now we got this Atlanta Braves team opened up at minus 220. They're down to minus 215, but the San Diego Padres opened at plus 184. They've moved up to plus 188. This is more stabilizing the line than it is reverse movement. 91% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the Atlanta Braves. Then we look at the total. 8.5 starts at 8.5. It's dropped to 8s. We got 72% of the bets on the over, 69% of the cash on the over, and yet it is dropping. And it's dropping because the secret is out. How about this? Not only are the Atlanta Braves 5-19 to the under, off and under, they're 20-0-1 to the under when the line is less than a minus 160, meaning less than means bigger than in this case here. That's just the way I've told you guys this before. Less than 160 means that it's got to be something bigger than a minus 160 in terms of the absolute zero game. And this is the case here. Now we're seeing minus 215s, minus 220s. There's even a 245 hanging. If you got Bet Rivers in this case, go get yourselves another book. Max Fried on the bump against Waldron for San Diego. And I think the thing of note for the San Diego team, first of all, 2 things. One, travel situation. They just had the back-to-back home games against the Dodgers and then the Colorado Rockies, who probably are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. And they got blanked at 8-0 that last game 2 days ago. Now they're flying across country. They're going into Atlanta. Atlanta's bets, we talked about this yesterday, they kind of collect in bunches, right? They either go off and they get 4 or 5 runs, or we see what happened yesterday where they get 1 run, 7-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. They did beat them 7-0 before that, 2-0 before that as well. So, coming in this thing off a series beat down on the Cubs 2-1. We were there, and we're rolling back to it here. I'm jumping in the pool 2 different ways in this game here. First and foremost, I'm going to the under. Right now, I see the 8.5 is still floating at minus 118. but we can get the 8 at minus 105. So we'll take the under 8 at minus 105. And I got to do it. I got to go back to it. I'm rolling back in. We've cashed on it before. It's a new series, but it's the same game plan. Give me Atlanta Braves minus 1.5 and the under 8 at plus 305. Thread the needle? Some would say. Maybe. Have we done it before? Yes. Are we going to do it again? Yes, we're doing it again tonight. Atlanta Braves minus 1.5 and the under 8 is plus 305. Yeah, the 8.5's moved to 8. I'm still taking the 8. I'm not going to not take the 8 in this case. I wish there was more 8.5s out there, but it's all good. It's all good. The show must go on, you guys. This is how we get this cash out there. Volume Sport plus money spots. Take your swings. We've cashed that Atlanta and the under. I think we're 5-1 in the last 6 times we've gone after that spot there. And it's really all over the last 2 weeks. So Joe Yurkovich in the house says Braves 20-6 to the run line when they win the game out there. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for them to win, shut them San Diego Padres down. Maybe next game's a different story, but this is where we're going after it tonight. Perky Bump says Nestor Cortez over 18.5 outs is at plus 140. He usually goes that at home and against the White Sox. Rick J says San Francisco has always owned the Rockies. Best of luck. And Swig Bet says the Padres are the worst versus lefties in the league the last 30 days. Freed is a super lefty. Hell yes, Swig Bet's my guy. Dropping it in there for us. Let's get it. Marco Carrasco says Giants at home do not score runs, and the Rockies are hot right now for plus money. Appreciate you guys continuing to share them plays. Let's roll onward and upward. Got to pick it up now. We get excited, get distracted when it comes down to it. What do we got for the next game on the pike? I could play this Angels-Texas game 18 different ways. I'm not going to. It's Andrew Heaney. I don't know. I've been burned with this. I would lean to the over in that Angels-Rangers game. No play for me officially on it. I'm not fucking around with that. Kansas City at minus 200. Not interested. Not home team. Not interested. Oakland. Not interested. Everybody loved Oakland yesterday. Not us. Not us. We were all over Houston yesterday, and Houston literally gave him the old baby seal treatment. Out came the club. Whack! Put him right down and out fast, and it was over before it even started. But let's go back to this Houston game here. I think this is the one that we're on deck with next here. Let me check it out. In fact, it is. This Houston Astros Milwaukee Brewers spot. I don't make these plays very often, but I don't know what's going on with this Houston Astros spot. It started at minus 108, and it's dropping. 44% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the over in this Brewers spot. I'm sorry, on the Brewers. And it's moved from minus 108 to minus 112. Let me try that again. Take 2. 44% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the Brewers. And it's moved from minus 108 to minus 112. Fucking crazy. Then we got this total. Here's the red alert. We talked about this yesterday. I'll continue to share it with you guys. Watch these full line movements. This one moved from 8.5 to 7.5. We have 82% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the over. Let's move to full line, or a full run, rather. Sorry, my bad. We got Hunter Brown starting for the Houston Astros with a 7.79 ERA, 0-4 on his poor shit season. But let's not forget, Houston struggled the first quarter of this season here. Then we look on the other side of things, and we got Freddie Peralta going with the Brewers at 3.63 ERAs, 3-1 on the season. And, talk about the proverbial in and out in this spot. I'm in on the Nerfy. I'm rolling on the Nerfy. That's it. We got a decent number on the Nerfy as well. Peralta, as I mentioned, his ERA, here's the difference. And started to look at some of these advanced analytics when we're trying to figure out this Nerfy. There's all kinds of, you guys know the deal. There's all kinds of shit you can look at for baseball. But the first time through the order, this Freddie Peralta, who's already at a 3.63 ERA, drops to 2.50 ERA. Hunter Brown, he's going to be the guy that's the exposure concern for me. As long as he doesn't go out there and puke it up right off the gate for the first 3 guys, I think we're in play here. And I'm fine with that situation. I think Peralta's going to be able to at least mow down those first 3 guys. Then on the other side of things, we just need to have Houston, Brown handle his business. And we're getting at minus 125. Minus 125. I don't know what's going to happen in this total. I would be inclined now to say the reverse line movement, this fucking thing dropping a full run. And I'll tell you who's going to probably end up paying the price for it. First 5 under bettors. I bet you take it on the chin here. This thing started at 4.5. It's moved to 3.5. I'll bet you this thing ends up getting over that number. But the Nerfy for us in play out there, minus 127 at Bet Rivers. FanDuel's got it at minus 128. So plenty of play out there for this Houston Nerfy. If you guys like these Nerfy plays, worth getting involved with. I don't make these plays very often because I don't like to cheat some of the system or the timeline that goes into these statistics. But it's Freddie Peralta and his numbers and how much more he succeeds the first time through the order that gives me the confidence to come in here, especially looking at Houston. You know, we just talked about that spot yesterday against Oakland, and they butchered them 8-1. Before that, though, 3-0 and a 2-1 spot as well. So coming off the sweep, they're a hot team right now. We just need to get through the sweaty 6. The sweaty 6 to get us paid at a minus 127 seems like that is more than fair number for me. And let's keep it rolling. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. The Boston Red Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals. Who's got that St. Louis Cardinals first game of a series number out there? Let's talk about it. Old E in the house. Gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. My guy, Old E, continuing to come in here on the regular, blessing us with the action, giving us not just his time and his effort, but helping us grow the community one member at a time. Old E, man, you're a real one, dude. We got to get you on screen one of these times and hang out, have a cocktail, and talk some live betting. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. We love to see that stuff, and you're doing it on the regular, man. We don't see that and notice that. We talk about it all the time, and it means a ton, dude. We appreciate you coming in there, giving back to the people. And let's not forget Fernando Mendoza. I was behind. Excuse me. Speaking of another guy that comes in here on the regular, sharing his looks and helping cook the books, but now he's helping us grow this membership as well, gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. I gotta get a cocktail to give you the official and appropriate cheers, Fernando Mendoza, but you are a real one as well, my guy. Hope you guys are getting those memberships and extending them. These guys are giving you the first go round, and we already know what happens. Gifted memberships count just the same out there. You get yourself access when you're a gold member. You get 2 runs in the virtual pony races for your chance to win $100, and all courtesy of Jeff Slaughter and the Pub Sports family. So we appreciate you guys. Old E, Fernando Mendoza, you guys are great, man. We appreciate you. Respect. Appreciate you coming in on the regular. And Kelsey's asking about the baby seal play of the day. Kelsey says Nerfy equals no runs, effing idiots. Yeah, it sounds about right. Says give me the Red Sox. Let's talk about this one. Coin says pitching change for San Francisco. Blacklisted now, huh? Sweet bets. Nunya says chat is all the real. Yeah, man, you guys are awesome. Everybody coming in here daily, supporting the show, supporting the cause, supporting the channel. All we ask you to do is hit that thumbs up button and get that cash with us. We don't ask you for anything else. So fantastic to have you guys come in here. Daniel Kapskinen says New York Mets, Scott over 5.5 strikeouts, ? I like the first 5 under in that game, so I guess that would correlate. I don't know. You want to take a shot with Scott. I don't have a lot of data with that guy. I like the Mets mostly because I don't like Miami in the first game of the series. And I like that first 5 under. I like the full game under. So, yeah, why not? I mean, if you're going to, I don't know. Miami's bats are starting to kind of come alive a little bit too. I don't know. That's a tricky spot for me. I would lean to the first 5. In fact, the first 5 under 4 was a cutting room floor play for me, for anybody that's interested in that kind of stuff. Then he says, let's throw together a player prop BBW. AOD says, we are all D-Gens united as one. You guys are awesome, man. Makes it a lot of fun to come in. Subhuman says, I almost forgot that it's last call cocktail hour. I've been smacking some very strong Kentucky mules today. What's everyone sipping on? Joey Harb in the house says, good luck tonight, all. Fernando Mendoza says, let's keep growing this channel. We're going to, man, especially with guys like you and Old E and everybody coming in here on the regular. It's fantastic. Bacon in the house. What up, Bacon? He says, what's the lock tonight? You put it in a sock, smack somebody over the head. That's about the only lock we got for you. AO says the lock's at Home Depot. Nunya says, I like the Braves money line, Knicks money line. Going to find some player props to slap some weight on that. Seven Hills Capper says, you guys are great. You're great, Seven Hills Capper. We appreciate you coming in here. Swig Bets says, Subhuman Gaucho, vodka, grocery story, seltzer water, and edibles. Woo, 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 woo. Bacon says, what's the taint tonight? I believe the taint play was I don't remember. I don't remember. I had to dip out of the show today to make a worthless trip to the store that I couldn't pick up what I wanted anyway. So let's keep rolling, you guys. Let's get after it. Kelsey says, love you. Mikey, appreciate you guys, man. You guys make this so much fun. Let's get into this one. With this Boston Red Sox, St. Louis Cardinals, I've told you before, we fade the Cardinals first game of a series. We just do it. Just do it, and do it again. Why not take a shot with this one? But I've got more reason than just that. 59% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the Red Sox. This total's sitting at 8. Frozen line. 81% of the bets on the over, 77% of the cash on the over. We got Brian Bello and we got Big Bob Kyle Gibson going out there. Both these guys are comparable in terms of kind of their trajectory thus far. 3.13 ERA for Bello, 3.67 ERA for Gibson. Bello's 4-1 on the season, though. And we know these Red Sox, they were a first 5 menace team not to be messed with out there. I expect this to be a lower scoring game, but you guys, we are back in the zone. The road team off a loss on a line between -120 and +160, 48-5, the second spot of the day that lights up. I'm going back to Old Reliable here. Old Reliable being the Boston first 5 spot. It's -109, but it's moving. Holy cow, it's moved -118s now, -125s, -130. There's still a 110 sitting out there at Bet MGM. Get that shit while it's hot. And I'm going in on the full game as well. I'm double dipping this Boston team here. I want the first 5 Boston trend back there. And this one correlates. We had a hot team. We're showing a bounce back trend on the road, and they're a hot first 5 team. So all signs check. All boxes are checked for me in this spot there. I'm taking Boston first 5 and Boston full game. Boston smashes. And Seven Hills Capper says, Bello birthday. I like it even more. I like it even more. Bacon says, what's my granny wears her sister's panties play tonight? Well, let's get into it. Let's keep her rolling. We got 2 more spots in baseball. Then we're going to move quickly through the NBA, WNBA so we can bring on our guy, MMA Jeff. So we're running just a tad behind. I don't like to hear this pitching change. I guess I got to look a little more into it. I was originally looking at this Colorado-San Francisco game. Shout out to our guy, Nut Flush Allen. Not only is the team total whisperer, the San Francisco guru, but he also laid it down for us. And he said, when these San Fran and Dodgers teams play each other, that next game out of the hop, they take an L. And what did we see happen yesterday? The Dodgers with that surprising defeat out there. Huge favorite over -300, taking the L. I want to go right back to it. I think we're in a similar spot. This number's dropping like a fucking rock, though. 82% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants. It's dropped from -154 to -130. So you got super huge reverse line movement now. This line is available at +110 for the Colorado Rock. How about that? Just an hour and a half ago, it was +130. Wow. As far as the total is concerned, it started at 7. It's moved to 7.5. 88% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the over. That line moving has detracted from the home favorite on a 7 in that case. Now, I do see Black as well with a 6.23 ERA as the designated starter. Feltner on the other side of things here. Bottom line it for everybody. We'll keep this thing moving. We'll pick up this pace here. I think a lot of you guys like this Colorado team, as do I. What do they got? 7 wins in a row right now? Going out there shutting down them San Diego Padres. And what do we have with a road dog who's on a winning streak playing their division? Road dog on a win streak against their division are 56-34 in those spots out there. I'm going back to Colorado. We'll fade Colorado shortly, but not until they get to double-digit spots. JW says San Fran wins out there. Kelly B in the house says, a little late. Hello, all. Terrible travel for San Diego, West Coast, then East Coast, back to West Coast, now back to East Coast, Atlanta -1, and Freed K's over for our girl Kelly V. Bacon says Celtics second quarter. I don't see the wrench there. There we go. Nasty Nate says Knicks second quarter out there. Let's go, you guys. Let's keep going. Subhuman says game script for the Panthers Bruins first period 0-0. Game totals over 5.5. Panthers puck line plus 3,100. Jesus. I like everything but that Panthers puck line, Subhuman Gaucho. The refs got us this one here. Refs are going to take care of us for that game. We talked about it, guys. Let's go. Last game on the card here. And we're there. If we're going to have a sister's wearing, or your grandma's wearing your sister's panties play of the day, it's right here. You found it. Look no further. You found it. We're going to this Detroit, Arizona game. Little out of sequence, but That is just fine for us. The Detroit Tigers open up as minus 136s, and there's really been no movement. 62% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the Tigers. Then we look at the total. No movement there either. 89% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over, yet it is not moving. This is another one of them situations where I talked on the top of the show about Nasty Nestor and how he performs better at home than on the road. Well, how about Tarek Skubal? He performs better on the road than at home. He's got a 2.02 ERA. He's 5-0. Talk about getting run support out there from this guy. On the other side of things, we got Ryan Nelson, 5.33 ERA, 2-2 in that spot out there. And looky. What do we have here? We got Arizona. Arizona's another team that we fade in the first game of a series. They did come off of that 2-1 beating of Cincinnati in that series. And they've been road warriors out there. Had to fly to Baltimore. Then they flew back home against Cincinnati. Now they're hosting this Detroit Tigers, who had back-to-back home series. Now, Detroit's not looking so great right now. There's no doubt about it. But the bright star in the box is Tarek Skubal. 2-0 loss to Miami, 1-0 as well. But they did win 6-5 the first game of the series because Miami sucks the first game of the series. Of course they won that spot. St. Louis Cardinals are no good in the first game of the series, nor are the Arizona Diamondbacks. Detroit and the under 8 at plus 235. Non-division road favorites with the rest advantage are 157 and 64. Not only are we fading away on Arizona, backing Skubal, who's better on the road, but non-division road favorites with the rest advantage are 157 and 64. Give me Detroit and the under 8 in the lower scoring game today at plus 235. That'll be the grandma's wearing your sister's panties play of the day, Bacon. There you go. One wild granny says. JW says Detroit can't score. That'll be the challenge. That will be the challenge. Coin says Arizona in a 3-11 first game of a series spot. Fucking A, Coin. You already know, my guy. I appreciate you tracking that for us. Let's get after it out there. And Dabby Cab, we got a Dabby Cab sighting, everybody. Don't call the milk company. We can take him off the back of the milk jugs. He's been found. Hashtag where's Dabby? Hashtag here's Dabby. He's on last call, baby. Let's go, my guy. What's up, Dabby Cab? It's good to see you. Untouchable Jay says, I remember now. Swig says, I'm joking, but not joking. Big Show, where the fuck is my pub rub and cash it, T? I ordered it on the 2nd. You better get it to Nunya. Kelsey says, your sister's wearing your grandma's panties. No, your grandma's wearing your sister's panties. That's a big difference there. Nobody wants to see the sister in the bloomers, right? Probably nobody wants to see grandma. Anyways, I don't want to get myself in trouble. Somebody says, I love it, Mikey. It just so happens that I've already bet that as well. You guys, that's where the money has been made, is double dipping those puppies. Let's get rolling here. What do we got next? Let me look here. We got to pull an order switch here, I believe, because the NBA doesn't pop off till 8:30, but you know we got action. I capped it. Well, I guess we still got time. Let's talk the NBA. Let's get into the NBA. Then we'll get to the WNBA. Then we'll get to the MMA. That's a lot of A's. All that means we're going to kick some ass here tonight. I'm opening up on this. The fucking NBA has been a cruel, cruel mistress to me here. We had that huge run in the first round of the playoffs with the unders, and I didn't think I could lose in the NBA again. But man, some of these spots have been tricky. I'm opening up here. Pacers and Knicks, 8:30 p.m., -5 with a frozen line. 60% of the bets and 55% of the cash on the New York Knickerbockers. The road dog who's beat up. They're savagely beaten up out there. And you guys know how I feel without the Anunoby factor. Then we look at the total. It's dropping. We got 86% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over. It's dropped. It's dropped 2 full points in this spot now. And it's backs against the wall, do or die time. It just so happens we got a spot with a team that's the home favorite in do or die spots. The home favorite in those spots are 8-3 against the spread. 8-3. The home favorite that's losing the series overall in the last 3 years of the NBA is 50-18. And the playoff favorites coming off a non-cover are 147-86. It's 7-3 in the last 10 spots in that game out there. I got the Pacers. Pacers first quarter. I went -1.5 for that first quarter. And I took the first half under 110. Let me just do a quick shop and make sure these are still good numbers. I don't want to give you guys bum numbers here, but I see 111s now on the first half. So we'll take the under 111. Look, Obviously, we talked about the backs against the wall. I talked to you guys about just at the start of the show, who's the guy that steps up in a situation like this? It's Halliburton. Halliburton's numbers are almost twice as good when he's at home versus being on the road. And they still have that depth with guys like Siakam. On the other side of things, we got a beat up, busted up New York Knicks team. Bogdanovich is out. Julius Randle's been out. OG Anunoby is out. And then Mitchell Robinson's been out again as well. And a reasonably healthy Pacers team coming back home with a series, NBA series trends showing you. And I put a lot of weight into the NBA series trends because I believe the NBA is that team where they don't want the viewership, as bad as it may be with these guys that have their healthy scratches or their load management or whatever else the case may be. They need these series to prolong when they've got their potential star players and a New York Knicks marquee market there in New York City. But I think these injury factors here, backs against the wall, game script this thing out with me. I expect the Pacers to start fast. I think that they're a team that's in a situation where they can't afford to fall behind early because we know that they'll just check the fuck out. I also think they'll play a little defense out there. We got a lower total with these numbers here, and we're sitting at a 111 for the first half. So I got the Pacers first quarter -1.5 and the first half under 111. The Knicks are 0-7 going back to February when they covered by more than 10 points the previous game and did not trail by 10 or more at the half. So straight up beat down. The next game, they are 0-7. They're losing those first quarters, by the way, by almost 4 points in those spots. That's where the -1.5 comes into play. And then Indiana, 12-0 since November when the total's a short total under 243 and they scored less than 104 points the last game. Lower total, they step up, they play defense, and they get the job done. So I'm inclined to go to the 5. I'm inclined. We'll talk with MMA Jeff before I jump into the 5 or not. But first quarter, -1.5. First half, under 111 are going to be official spots there. Dabby Cab in the house. Call the milk company. We found him. He says, I'm on the Braves team total over, the Astros team total over, and Alvarez total bases over 1.5 for our guy, Dabby Cab. Let's go, Dabby Cab. Sweet Bet says, Dabby, saw you waffle record. What if you just bet your leans at like quarter? Dabby and I have talked about that. Dabby prefers to have one game on the line, and that's it. One game for the day. That's all he can handle. Stress management. We talked about load management in the NBA. We'll talk about stress management for my guy. I'm just kidding. He's giving you guys a 3-pack right there, right? 1, 2, 3 for you. Likes that Braves, likes that Astros, likes the Alvarez total bases. He says, I definitely need to stop staying off my leans. Shout out Dabby Cab. Most famous for non-famous better I've ever met in my life. But that just shows you, man. Imagine the cutting room floor for Dabby Cab. I mean, you already know it's 18-2 for that guy. Let's get into the WNBA, you guys. 7:30 start for this first game. The Mystics and the Sun. This line opened at 11.5. It's dropped now to 8s. There's still a couple 8.5s out there. Plus 8.5, -108. We have 76% of the bets, 46% of the cash on the Mystics. Then we look at this total. 158.5 has dropped to 158. 50-50 on the bets, but 60-40 on the cash. And I'm just joking around with my guy, Dad. I was just thinking to myself, man, I'm aggressive with Dabby Cab here. But I'll tell you what, I came off the Razor horse racing stream there, and he's blasted. But not only is he blasted, he was blasting some guy in the chat, and it made me laugh. So I like it. I appreciate Razor Sharp Picks doing his thing. Shout out to Sub, my guy Subhuman Gaucho, gifting a membership. You guys are great, man. On the train, Subhuman Gaucho, gifting away, helping us grow this community one member at a time. On that he says the muted waffle. I like that. Swig Bet says the WNBA is a soft market. Billy used to beat it up last year. Swig, we're coming in, my guy. We're coming in. I'll tell you right off the gate. First game I'm looking at, I'm taking the Mystics. I got them plus 8.5. Obviously not a great thing to see their first game coming off that big loss out there. But the metrics within the metrics, the Sun they handled them Indiana team out there. Caitlin Clark, we're on Caitlin Clark watch, 0-2 for her points to the under. 2 straight unders for her point totals. They started at 21.5. They've moved to 20.5. But let's look at this Mystics team. We had big line movement on that Mystics side of things. If you remember, the New York Liberty opened up. They were double-digit favorites. And the Mystic ended up covering that game right at this same number. Here's the difference. The number of threes these girls go out there and smack around. As I was digging in there, this is like a 3-1. The Mystic could very easily win this game outright. I get it. The Sun, aggressive team. This number opened up as double digits for a reason. But the first game, the Mystics threw up 32 3-pointers. They were within one of the Liberty with 16 seconds to play. They were right there in that game, right to the very end with foul trouble in a double-digit spread situation. They only hit 10 of those 32 threes. Not very effective for the first game of the season. Now you look on the other side of things. The Sun don't shoot three-pointers. They want their twos. They want to get grimy, gritty in the paint is how they want to play out there. This is going to come down to the efficiency and effectiveness of the three-point ball. I like this Mystics team. I like this plus 8.5 out there, and I think they're capable of going out there and splashing. Put them on live watch alert as well. This money line dropped from plus 540 to plus 340. I don't know that they're going to end up getting the victory outright, but wouldn't surprise me. And I got a plus 8.5 at minus 108. Simple game of the threes. Look at what Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors were doing before the other teams figured out they got to start playing the three ball. They were smashing. They were beating up everybody. And I don't know that the Mystics go out there and beat them up. But I think they can hang in here. And this line's goddamn disrespectful. They're going to win by 10, the Sun. They haven't done it. We'll see what happens. The Indiana team, the Indiana Fever, I'm going to discount that Suns monster victory over the Fever because the Fever fucking stink. There's a reason they got Caitlin Clark, and it's not because they're good. Let's roll on. Next game on the docket for you guys at 9:30. The Storm and the Lynx here. This game opened up at minus 3.5. It's dropped to minus ones. 67% of the bets on the Storm. No cash flow report there. 11,000 tickets in. And a total now that has moved from 163.5 to 167. 43% of the bets and 56% of the cash on the over. And this is the situation where I told you before, I feel like we're catching the opportunity where the line has moved just too many points. These two teams just played. Opening night, Storm and the Lynx. 164.5 was the total. It went to 153. That was the final. What am I missing here? What? Oh, 2 days goes by and all of a sudden they're going to blow this total out of the water? Crazy. And everybody steam chased the shit out of it to the over. They didn't watch that first. I mean, I'm not saying that I watched that game, but I watched the report. I watched the box score. I saw the total in that spot. It smoked the under. You know, fast-paced game. I get it. So they could certainly go out there. Both sides can play, you know, quick ball out there. Their time per possession looked like it ranks amongst the tops in the league, but still figuring this WNBA thing out. And if I'm missing it here, then so be it. But you steam this line up to 166.5. The last time they played, they got 153. I'm taking it. Give me the under 166.5. We'll take it. We'll ride with it. We'll own it. We'll own it either way. How about that collectively? But give me 2 plays in the WNBA. I'd rather play the WNBA than the NBA, but tonight I just happen to be lined up for it. Let's roll on. Let's roll onward and upward. It's time to bring our guy in. I see I chased him off. I chased him off the stream because I made him wait too long, and that's my fault. So hopefully he'll come back here momentarily. Let's see what happens here. We got 1-1 in that Phils game out there. Jake DeBrusk, first goal. Bruins haven't won a home game this series. And Dirty Red 22 says the Knicks plus 100 is a steal to shoot a higher 3-point percentage tonight. I think they will shoot a lot less threes. So they'll need to hit a lot less threes to cash that bet. Trisha M says Kachuk first goal. Swig Bet says number coming in on the Sun is a bad sign. P-Dog 781 says rhymes with Kachuk, but it's DeBrusk. JW says they throw up threes because they can't hit layups. Hey, fuck them. They don't need to hit them for me. It's all good. Let's just get that cash. We'll see what happens here. I know I got our guy. Let me see. I know he's been ready, so he's probably chapped, and that's not where we want our MMA expert when it comes down to it. But we'll see what happens. Juggler 23 says the steam was a head fake, Mikey. I agree, Juggler 23, and I think that's the thing that we've talked about with these WNBA games is it's too much opportunity here where people are jumping in and getting it done. So Swig Bet says can always take a few moments to plug the contest. Let's do just that. He's got some technical difficulties, so he's going to be right back. But let's see if we got it out there. You bet your ass we do. Swig Bets, $100 free contest, $100. Giving money away all over this channel. Yesterday we had the $25 giveaway. Dutch and Dabby with their $50 giveaways with the sesh. We got the horse racing giveaways, and Saturdays are no different. Think you got what it takes in the UFC to go out and beat the likes of Kogi Cam or Fanatical Jim, MMA Jeff, or the gang? Well, go ahead and see what you can do. Free to enter. All you got to do is go in, pick the winner of the fight, pick the type of finish it's going to have, pick the round it's going to finish in. It's going to add it up over the course of the game. And at the end, the winner takes all. So that's going to be an interesting contest to be involved with there. Let's use that as the intro. I kept them on ice plenty. My apologies, but let's bring them on. T, warm it up, baby. MMA Jeff's ready to roll. Let's get him in here. There we go.
What's going on?
Dragon ass as usual here. You know, we're deep into the card. We got a lot of plays today, though, and I didn't want to cut any of those potential winners out there. So talk to us here. We got the UFC on deck this weekend. I saw it's a 4 p.m. Eastern start. So everyone's going to have to go in there and get ready to roll early, Jeff. But what do you think about this card? What's going on?
I'm actually a little disappointed about the card. I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot of great fights on there. Some of the numbers were a little out of whack, I guess, so to speak, from a betting perspective. But got a couple of plays out there, so looking forward to it. Hey, on another note, did you fade Patchy?
No.
Patchy won by decision today.
Patchy did?
Yeah, in Bellator.
No, I didn't fuck with Bellator. I couldn't get to it. Bacon says Mike doesn't answer non-member questions. I try to answer everybody's questions, Bacon, but I do appreciate you guys that are members. Appreciate all you guys coming in there. Kelly V, I do not have a rollover play because we lost the rollover yesterday. So we won one, then we lost the second one. We'll start it again next week. You know, yesterday was a thin card. There was 8 spots. No excuses. We'll own it. It was a loss. It sucked. I was going to put the Rangers in there, and then I thought, am I just getting too cute telling everybody to double unit this plus 140? And it turns out it should have gone after it there. Ice Viking says, did Patchy really win, though?
He did on the scorecard. Questionable.
Interesting spot there. Hope I didn't miss anybody's questions. Dirty Reg 22 says, do you got any UFL football plays? I don't because I'm just trying to get in and figure out this WNBA thing at the moment, but I will. We will continue to evolve. You know, it's important to put cash in pockets. And when I think there's an opportunity for us to get there, then in fact, that's where I want to be. And that's what I got with my guy, MMA Jeff here. He's ready to put some cash in our pockets. Let's talk about some of these UFC fights because you gave us a little 3-pack this week here, and I'm excited to look at it here. I know a lot of people talk bad about these cards, but here we go. We got Clayton Rodriguez at 8-3. Fighting out of Sao Paulo de Brazil. And here we go with this guy, the number 147 bantamweight, trying to make the step up against the Mongolian Knight, the number 47. And we got Kelson coming off of a submission arm triangle. Jeff, talk to us about this first fight in the UFC tomorrow.
I'm leaning Rodriguez by decision here. Which fight did you mix the order up?
I might have.
Which one are you on?
Kelson Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm on the Carnelosi Rodriguez fight.
Oh.
Either way, I think I'm on Rodriguez by decision. Carnelosi, she was lighting it up in the smaller promotions, but since joining the UFC, she's only 2-2, which 500 rolling against the better competition. She does have finishing capabilities, but she tends to lose against the tougher competition, more skilled fighters. Rodriguez coming in as a 9-1 as a pro. She's 2-1 in the UFC. She only lost her last fight by submission to Jillian Robertson, who's a pretty solid grappler, and that was probably about a year ago. 4 of her fights went to decision, and she's won them all so far. I see this one spending a lot of time on the ground with Rodriguez having better grappling skills, and I think she's going to get it done by decision. From a correlation to the odds makers' prices, the over 2.5 is -240, and she's a pretty heavy favorite. So I'm on her by decision at +100, even money.
Leave money banger there. Of course, it's a women's fight. Why not see this thing go the distance?
It's funny because I scroll through all the fights, and I always end up finding a women's fight by decision. I feel like I've been doing that just about every week, and I've been hitting them pretty good. So
nice. Bacon, I hope I answered your question in there. Yes, the Detroit and under 8 is the grandma wearing your sister's panties play of the day. Detroit and the under 8. If I missed it, throw it in there again. It comes from the bottom up. Sometimes you guys get a lot of comments in the chat, and I miss some of these spots. So it's not intentional. You guys just throw it back in there again. You're not spamming me. If I see it too many times, I'll let you know you're spamming me. But no, you guys are good, man. Keep throwing them in there. Jeff, let's talk about this next fight. I have a general rule of thumb when it comes to the fight game, and it has to do with last names Magomedov. Here we go with Alves Magomedov. And Magomedov coming off of back-to-back losses. He got knocked out by Sean Strickland. Then he goes to decision against Barallo. And from my limited knowledge when it comes to the UFC, they're always trying to figure out if the cobwebs have gotten dusted out after the knockout there. So, yes, a back-to-back loss situation, but what a good spot to get right. Alves has gotten knocked out 2 of his last 3 fights. Take it away. Talk to us about this battle royale that's going on.
Yeah, Alves says he's got a 3-fight losing streak, and if you look even further into it, he's lost 5 of his last 7. As you had mentioned, 2 of those last 3 losses were by KO. So I don't know. He doesn't seem to have the chin he had when he entered the UFC. He's sitting at 8-7 right now. I don't see him competing well against Magomedov. Magomedov, as you mentioned, coming off of 2 losses, but he's got 14 KOs in his pro career, and 12 of those have been in the first round. So I see Magomedov coming out pretty aggressive and overwhelming Alves personally. And I see Alves trying to clinch up just to stop the onslaught that Magomedov's going to throw at him. And he's probably going to get touched up on the enter as he tries to enter and do his clinching. I'm on Magomedov by KO at -110. I was contemplating the KO in the first round, but that was plus 165. I think him getting the KO in general at -110 is the way to go on this one.
Like it. Some great comments in the chat. Nanya's got the card opening with dog. Vanessa Diampopoulos. Jesus, with these names. Make it easy for us here. Why don't you? Subhuman says lady fights by decision are always a good look. This one's a little worried though for him. And then Ice Viking says Carnelosi's jacked, but apparently she had some kind of back surgery recently. Yep. Nanya says Gorimbo on the money line out there. And Nanya likes Magomedov as well. And Kelly V says that Jeff, if it's a winner, it's a winner. Who's complaining? Women's fight by decision. Thank you very much. Demopoulos. I used to coach a kid's last name was Diamatopoulos. So it's fucked up programming. What are you going to do? Then we got this next fight, Jeff. Tom Big Train Nolan, Victor the Brick Martinez. And what an interesting spot, because both these guys made their debuts in the UFC coming off of Dana White Contender Series victories. And they both got knocked the fuck out. The biggest difference here is Tom Nolan's from Down Under. And, he's got himself, after just 4 months, coming back in. Big Train is to come in and get this one handled. What do you think about this fight? Tom Nolan, Victor the Brick Martinez. Take it away.
Tom Nolan is 7 inches taller, and he's got a 3-inch reach advantage. So I don't necessarily like to take just a taller fighter based on the height, but I don't know. He's as you mentioned, he's coming off his first loss in the UFC, his first fight in the UFC. He's got the KO power, but Martinez has KO power, but I don't know. He seems to be. He was only showing it in the lesser promotions. Once he got to the UFC, again, he's only been in one fight, but I don't know. He didn't seem to impress me as I was watching tape out of the last fight. He's been KO'd 2 times in his career, so it seems like it seems like he's going to be outmatched by Nolan in this one. Nolan's, again, as you look at it on paper, a much younger fighter. He's taller. He's got the reach advantage. 4 KO victories, which 3 of those were in the first round. 8 of his last 10 fights have been by KO. I think Nolan's. I think he's going to come out. He's going to come out quick, and I think he's going to get it done here in the first round. Which again, from getting him in the first round, it was plus 125 yesterday as I was taking a look. So I'm thinking Nolan first round KO on this next one.
Nolan first round knockout. There's some violence and some early violence out there. I like it. I'm going to drop these three up in the chat for everybody to take a look at. Jeff, tell them what you got going on. Tell them where they can find you. What's going on with you this weekend?
You can follow me on X at JMHockey19. Not a whole lot going on. Just going to be watching some LFA. I think it starts at like 10 o'clock tonight. And rolling, we're going to, I believe we're streaming tomorrow like we have been every Saturday here, doing some live picks and some basically all the MMA cards and pretty much talking all the sports this weekend. So looking forward to hanging out.
Well, let's do just that. We appreciate you coming in, sharing the looks here. We're all trying to get that cash. MMA Jeff's giving you some Saturday cash, you guys. Make sure you go over to pubsportsradio.com, register for the UFC contest, free weekly contest, opportunity to pick up $100. Swig Bets is asking, is LFA on Fight Pass? And Fanatical Jim and Silent Rob giving you their appreciation.
I appreciate all you guys.
Let's get after it, Jeff. Thank you very much. And all you guys, get up and out of here right now. On the way out the door, smash that thumbs up button. Let's see if we can't continue to build this thing. You guys had just about 140 yesterday. Show high. I appreciate that. And all of you guys. Chris, reach out to me on X and let me know your Cash App so I can send you the $25 from the first goal scorer yesterday. And we're going to keep doing it again. We're going to have more fun with it. We'll start the rollover challenge again on Monday. Appreciate all you guys watching, and I hope you have a blessed, cashful weekend. Subhuman, Silent Rob, Fanatical Jim, Swig Bets out there, Ice Viking, Nanya, Dirty, Reg 22, Kelly V, Red Bearded Chick. Everybody showed up and showed out tonight. You guys did great. Appreciate you putting your plays in the chat. Now let's go get that money. Stay pumping, baby.